We're going to be going over the next video lab, the appendicular skeleton. First part I want to go over is the pectoral girdle, or more specifically the clavicle. It's just this bone or that bone. The sternal end is just going to be where it attaches to the sternum, and the acromial end is where it attaches to the acromion. Next, we're going to go over the scapula and its different portions. Easier seen from behind. This is the scapula. The coracoid process. There we go. It's that front point. The subscapular fossa. It's right here. The glenoid cavity is in here. Let's see where we can. There you go. In here. That's where it's going to attach. The spine of the scapula is this raised ridge right there. That's the spine. Let's see if we can fix that. There you go. Not all washed out right there. That's the spine. The acromion is going to be here. Right there, it's acromion. The supraspinosus, or the supraspinosus fossa, is right here. The infraspinosus fossa is this area. This sternoclavicular joint is right here. It's where it connects. And the acromioclavicular joint is right there, where that joins. And that wraps up the scapula. Okay, so we're going to continue with the bones and portions of the arm. It's humerus. The head of the humerus is this ball part right here. The greater tubercle is this bump right here. The lesser tubercle is, let's see, but if you, it's going to be that right there. The deltoid tuberosity is going to be right in here. It's going to be a raised section. The medial epicondyle is going to be right here. Can we see? There you go. Right there. The lateral epicondyle is going to be this one here. The coronoid fossa is going to be right in here. Let's see. Right in there. So the coronoid process of the ulna is going to be what goes into the coronoid fossa. The capitulum, going to be down in here, and that's going to articulate with the head of the radius. The trochlea is in here, and that is going to articulate with the trochlear notch of the ulna. Now the olecranon fossa, turn it around, is going to be in here, and that's going, and the olecranon fits inside of there, and that wraps us up with the arm. So next we're going to be going over the forearm. First off, this is the ulna. This bone is the ulna. The olecranon is this. Let's see if we can get a better picture. So this section right here. The coronoid process is on the front, the anterior side. That's going to be this portion right here. The styloid process is going to be all the way down. That's going to be right there. Next we're going to go on to the radius. Top of the radius right here. That's the head of the radius. Next is the radial tuberosity. That's going to be, oh, can't see it. Let's see. If I get a better picture of it. Going to be that bump right there. And the styloid process, the ulna, of the radius, my apologies, it's going to be down here. And that wraps us up for the forearm. So next we're going to be looking at the carpal bones, moving laterally to medially. We have the proximal row made up of the scaphoid, lunate, triquetral, and the pisiform. A little more distally, we have the distal row. This is made up of the trapezium, the trapezoid, the capitate, and the hamate. The bones that form the wrist joint or with the forearm bone is going to be the proximal row, and the bones that form the joint with the pollex is going to be the trapezium. The metacarpals are going to be these, here to here, and the phalanges are going to be these. And that wraps up the carpus. Okie dokie, we're going to be moving on to the pelvic girdle. Let's hold him up here so you can see him. Alright, and first off we have the coxal bone, which is pretty much all of this, which is made up of the ilium, the ischium, and the pubis. So the ilium is pretty much all of this right here. The ischium is pretty much this part, and the pubis is kind of this part. Oh, hard to see. in here and coming around a little bit. So first we have the acetabulum. That's going to be here. Next is the pubic symphysis, and that's going to be right here between, right there between the two. Next we have the obturator foramen, which is just this. The iliac crest, just here. The anterior superior iliac spine, it's actually going to be here. That's going to be, let's get a better, go, right, be this area. The iliac fossa is going to be the front and in here, or on either side. The greater sciatic notch going to be, it's going to be right here. The ischial spine going to be right, let's go to that one, right there. The ischial tuberosity is going to be, right down, right in there. There we go. And that's going to wrap us up for the pelvic girdle. So next up, we're going to talk about the femur. So first, this is the femur, whole thing. And we have the head, which is this. The greater trochanter is this. And we have the lesser trochanter, going to be right here. Let's get that in focus. There you go, right there. Then we have the abductor tubercle. It's going to be down here. Oops, get that in. Then we have the medial epicondyle, which is going to be right below it. Then we have the lateral epicondyle, which is going to be on this side. Then we have the medial and lateral condyle, which is going to be the medial on this side and lateral on this side. So the medial and lateral condyles. Lastly, we have the patella, which is going to be this right here. And that's going to wrap us up for the femur. The next portion that we're going to talk about is going to be the tibia and the fibula. First, we have the medial and lateral condyles. It's going to be right up here. Focus. So you have your medial and lateral condyles. Next, we have the tibial tuberosity. Going to be right in here. It's going to be that elevated section. There you go. And then we have the medial malleolus. Oops. It's going to be here. And then we have the proximal and distal tibiofibular joints. proximal, and the distal tibiofibular joints. Next we have the fibula. It's going to be the smaller bone next to the tibia. So you have the head of the fibula and the lateral malleolus of the fibula, which is going to be down here. And that's going to wrap up the tibia and the fibula. So the final portion of this video is going to be of the tarsus. So the talus is going to be this bone right in here. And as you can see, that's going to articulate with the tibia and the fibula. Next we have the calcaneus, which is the heel. Get it so it's not washed out by light. The heel. Next we have the cuboid. It's going to be this bone right here. Again, maybe we could get that cuboid. Next we have the navicular. There we go. It's going to be that one. Just in case you can see before that was the cuboid, that's the navicular. Next we're going to have the medial, intermediate, and lateral cuneiform. So it's going to be the medial, intermediate, and lateral, the cuneiform bones. Next we have the metatarsus, which is just going to be these. And then we have the phalanges, which are going to be these further down. And lastly, we have the hallux, which is just going to be the big toe. And that's it for the appendicular bones video lab.